Time that we had a debate about this. Personally, I have not yet been persuaded that votes for 16 and 17-year-olds is the right approach.
A report carried out by the House of Commons in 2014 showed only 51% were against the lowering of the voting age.
In the referendum, there was a turnout of 74%, I think, amongst 16 to 17-year-olds, but they had a real hot-button issue, didn't you, about independence. And the parties were able to galvanise the vote. There was a turnout of in the region of 90%. Whether in the short term you're going to get that take-up amongst young 16 and 17-year-olds to vote is debatable, really.
I used to be against votes for 16, but I've changed my mind now, and partly as a result of what happened in Scotland, I think it would be a good idea to allow people to vote at 16.
Scotland put its faith in its young people, giving all 16 and 17-year-olds the democratic vote, a vote in one of the most crucial decisions affecting Scotland's future.
From my own personal experience, my political views were formed by what my parents thought and also what my grandparents thought. But when I did a degree and learnt politics, sometimes I had to rationalise my political prejudice with the facts. They've got to join pressure groups, I think they've got to join political parties, they've got to educate themselves more, they've got to read newspapers, the social media, just get involved and show an interest. But that's a two-way street. That politicians too have got to engage with young people and show them that, look, politics is about more than just debates in the House of Commons. I think one of the troubles is, if you look at parliamentary debates and Prime Minister's Question Time, I was just watching it there a while ago, it's just a rowdy shouting match. And I don't know if you've been to Parliament and the House of Commons and the House of Lords, it's like a giant museum. To my mind, it needs to be closed down, turned into a museum and a more modern structure.
No, I don't think 16 to 17-year-olds should be able to vote. They're not being taught politics at GCSE level, so they're not politically aware of all the political parties and what they stand for.
Over 80% of 16 to 17-year-olds registered to vote and 74% actually voted. If that happened across the UK, it could make a huge difference to British politics.
The reason I'm in favour is that it would get people into the habit of voting at an early age, and I hope they carry on doing that, for the rest of their lives.
Young people need to be involved, but the structures need to change. It's not just young people that are disillusioned with politics. I mean, turnout in general elections now is 20% lower than it was in the 50s and 60s. I don't think people are disconnected with politics, because loads and loads of people belong to pressure groups like Greenpeace, Friends of the Earth, UK Uncut, many young people, but they're disillusioned with political parties. I think the Conservatives too will probably, if they win the election, will probably come up with it as well. So the answer is yes, it has to be.